Hi, I'm Sean Preble, and you're watching MediaPlex News Now. Here at the MediaPlex, we wanted to bring you some of our favorite stories from last semester. Enjoy.
The Windsor-Essex Humane Society is asking residents to not give pets as presents this Christmas. They say it sends the wrong message to children and it can burden the receiver with many unexpected costs. Rachel Dodderman, the operations manager for the shelter, says a good amount of animals coming in were at one time a gift that some person chose to not keep.
We try to encourage people that are interested in adoption to adopt. We try to discourage gifts, pet adoptions. We do have gift certificates to help with that because we just feel that adopters should be included in the decisions on the animal that they're receiving.
According to caninerescue.com, in Canada, less than 50% of all pets stay with one family their whole lifetime. Dodderman says being forced to switch homes or live in shelters is hard on these animals, both physically and emotionally.
We try to encourage adoptions all year. This time of year, we want to make people to really think about what plans they have coming up, things that they're doing, and just make sure it's the right fit for them. And if it is, great. We're here. We're open with the exception of the holidays, so we'd like to still get as many animals adopted as long as the person is ready.
Experts say the number of abandoned pets is rising because so many people have come to think of them as possessions. This problem is made worse by impulsive shoppers who go out and buy a pet with little to no thought, research, or preparation into the type of animal they get. Nicole Shanny, a volunteer for the shelter, asked her family to foster an older dog around Christmas time last year, and now encourages others to treat the process as if they are adopting another human.
I think that we've all grown to like our dog or to love our dog. And we say our dog, and we're just a foster family, but yeah, I think it has helped.
She's basically like almost part of our family, so it's really nice.
Dodderman says there is still time for Windsorites to find a good dog before Christmas, but they will need to find ways to keep it active through the winter months. Local pet expert Debbie Lowen says if you're planning on adopting a pet this holiday, you should make plans to train it right away.
If they're not trained, we run into problems of destroying the home and having accidents in the house and barking and nipping and biting and all that sort of stuff. So it's important, I think, to start with that. That way, the animals are taken care of and stimulated and healthy and happy, and then, the parents can come home and enjoy them instead of being angry and upset about something that might have happened when they're not there.
Dodderman says the Humane Society is expecting an influx of healthy and happy animals after Christmas and hopes many residents will consider adopting, fostering, or donating to the shelter at that time.
If they let us help match them, it's a little bit of a foolproof way to make sure that they receive an animal that is what they're looking for versus just based on a visual in a kennel.
For MediaPlex News, I'm Taylor Bush.
According to an Ontario government press release, grabbing a cold one is now possible at 58 grocery stores. The news release also said eventually up to 450 stores will sell beer. Although most of the grocery stores selling beer are in the GTA, Windsor has one location for residents to buy their beer and their groceries, the Real Canadian Superstore located on Walker Road. According to the Superstore's manager, John Carvalho, the Superstore is selling more than 30 different beer brands. Carvalho says the goal is to sell between 200 and 250 by the end of February 2016. The Ontario government guidelines say grocery stores selling beer must have at least 20% of the beer shelves filled with small brewers' products. Carvalho says he's shooting for 50%. He says having local beers will support the community and promote Windsor.
People from, say, a Thunder Bay may not know much about Windsor, but then they're going to know that these great products come from here. Come on down, go to the Hiram Walker's facility, right? Come visit the breweries. There's so much to see down in this area, part of the country. So tourism, definitely we could help that just by bringing people down here, by informing them of what all is available in this area.
Craft Heads Brewing Company co-owner Brian Daddock says when he gets his beers bottled, he will definitely be giving Superstore a call. He says it will give his company more exposure.
Having our beer here in downtown Windsor, it's pretty good, but at the same time, we're not at different restaurants or different bars in Windsor and Essex County. By having it at the Superstore, it'll allow different people to try out our beers.
Local breweries interested in selling their beers at the Superstore are asked to call the administrative office. For MediaPlex News, I'm Shelby Hernandez.
We've done enough preparation, but I do want to go over this The F.J. Brennan Center of Excellence and Innovation is helping to emphasize the importance in academic study through athletic participation. Students grades 7 to 12 are taught one of the most important lessons an athlete can learn. It's a concept that many young athletes are yet to grasp, the balancing between academics and athletics. So the question remains, is this program sufficient enough to help our young students learn? Mark Picard is an educator and skills specialist and highlights what sports can do for the young minds of these children.
A lot of kids function and learn better when we are able to use sports as a tool to enhance the learning experience.
Principal Kevin Hamlin also spots the benefits for students.
Well, this gives the student an opportunity to specify in their sport-specific area and really chase their passion, whether it's hockey, baseball, or soccer.
In the age of healthy lifestyles, programs like this may continue to rise.
We're excited about the future of this program, and we're certainly engaged and excited as well as the students and the teachers here about the promise of this program as well.
For MediaPlex News, I'm Michael Hugel.
School starts up again next week, so until then, please enjoy some of our favorites from last semester.
The Windsor Symphony Orchestra has often been associated with performances such as this. On the weekend, it was a lot different. Yes, the Capitol Theatre was quite literally on fire last weekend. The cause? A collaborative bash between the Windsor Symphony Orchestra and Fire Sound, called Burning Love. Fire Sound is a Toronto-based band of firefighters seeking to raise money for charity. Its bassist, Patrick McPhail, said the WSO initiated the project. Although 18 months in the making, he said it was worth it.
The members of Fire Sound, we kind of agreed that it might be an okay venture, and off we went. So it's been 18 months of excitement and joy and confusion and anxiety, but here we are, and now here we are. It's working out great.
Windsorites lit up when they saw it, according to the WSO's music director, Robert Franz.
I think that our community has really responded to it for a couple of reasons. One, it's great music, first and foremost. But secondly, these guys are so full of heart. You know, all of the CDs that they sell, they give the donation, they give away the proceeds to charities. It's really special to see what it is that they're doing.
Although not the first of its kind, Burning Love's modern twist is helping rekindle people's interest in the WSO. With previous endeavors involving people like Chris Hatfield and hard rock music, one can only imagine what's next for the symphony. For MediaPlex News, I'm Alex Latrimwe.
Sometimes you see it, other times you don't. In a matter of a split second, injuries can occur on any football field in the country. Although football is considered to be a violent sport, many local coaches say Wexa football is taking the right steps towards protecting their players. With the fourth football-related death in the U.S. in the past month, player safety has been a question of concern for many. Rob McIntyre is a convener for Wexa football. He said at any point in time where an adult, coach, or parent puts a student-athlete in jeopardy, Wexa absolutely will respond to it.
We don't want to see any students get hurt. It's a game, it's supposed to be fun. Last thing we want to see is somebody get seriously injured. So some of the things we've done is running coaching clinics and other things, teaching blocking and tackling safety.
Although Wexa has guidelines in concussion protocol, Dr. Christopher Abir, an associate professor in clinical neuropsychology at the University of Windsor, says he recommends that players who have been concussed visit specialists rather than physicians.
Athletes can shop around, so to speak, for physicians who are willing to say, you know, the person's fine, they're ready to go back. Many of these regulations require a note from a physician. And the unfortunate thing is that many physicians are still kind of under the old belief system that concussions require a loss of consciousness, and we now know that they don't.
Although every high school football game does come with the chance of injury, convener Rob McIntyre claims that the game of football has never been safer before.
This is a major topic and it's been around, but honestly, football has never been safer than it is now. I remember when I first played, the helmets were thin plastic with straps inside of them, and they put newspaper in it to break, now the helmets are unbelievably good, good helmets, the training, everything. We're doing a lot of great things. You can't prevent every single thing from occurring.
It is estimated that high school football accounts for 47% of all reported sports concussions, with 33% of concussions occurring during practice. For MediaPlex News, I'm Christian Bouchard.
With Windsor holding one of the highest unemployment rates in Canada, St. Clair College has started a club to teach students about self-employment. The Entrepreneurial Club at SCC teaches students how to come up with and sell ideas. President of the club, Mitch Wendt, said his main goal is to see others succeed.
So, as president of the Entrepreneurship Club, I would love to bridge the gap and bring clubs more close together and have them work as one rather than as 12 or however many clubs there are.
Wendt said the Entrepreneurial Club also teaches students how to start a business and work for oneself. The question is, where are these students meeting?
Just as the MediaPlex has been created for journalism students, there's also been a space created for those interested in the entrepreneurial arts.
Coordinator of the new Genesis section, Chris Ryan, said the state-of-the-art space gives students exactly what they need.
I think it's a change of thought, right? It really gives you a way to think innovatively and also think entrepreneurially. What we're also going to concentrate on here is have some workshops with some life skills, how to sell, how to market, how to present your brand, how to create your own personal brand.
Ryan said St. Clair has definitely taken a step to prepare their students in this ever-changing Canadian economy. For MediaPlex News, I'm Caleb Workman.
3 Minutes With is a segment where we sit down with the newsmakers and influencers in our community. Here are some of our favorites.
Hello, I'm Abbas Wali and welcome to 3 Minute With Mayor Drew Dilkens. So Drew Dilkens, did you achieve your goals for your first year in office?
Well, today, as a matter of fact, happens to be the first year, or at least the 1 year anniversary since the election. The actual term started on December the 1st, and so we're well into the first year of the term. And with respect to the objectives, what I really hope to accomplish this year was really to start to set the stage moving forward for the next few years on council, and then of course moving forward for the next 20 years with the creation of a 20-year strategic plan for the city. So we're well underway on that. We're well through the public consultation period on that 20-year plan, and I'm excited about how far we've come in the first nearly 1 year.
What improvement will see Windsor in the years to come?
Well, I think our primary objective certainly is to focus on employment. We recognize we still have high unemployment, and we're doing everything we can to create the environment that's worthy of investment, but also to try and diversify our economy using the skill sets that we have here in the community. And so there's been a lot of focus on economic development and job creation because that's really important for our community today.
How can Windsor's voice will be heard, and provincially or federally?
Well, that's been a topic of much conversation since the federal election last week, and we've elected members both at the provincial and federal level who aren't part of government at either level. But it really, you have to rely on the networks that you have and the contacts that you have as a community, and then it's also incumbent upon me as mayor and city councilors to reach out to the contacts that we have that we need to reach in order to make sure that we can secure the investment that we need for the community, to make sure that our voice and our ideas are heard so that we're included as part of the planning mix at both the provincial and federal levels.
We heard that there is a new airline will start its flight from Windsor International Airport as soon as December. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I'm really excited. We've been working for over a year to try and attract another airline with direct service from the city of Windsor. So we have National Airlines, which operates out of Orlando Sanford Airport. They start operations on the 17th of December. They will have nonstop flights between Windsor and Orlando twice a week on Thursdays and Sundays. And they have a great looking plane. It's a fantastic plane, especially for a tall guy like me. They've got lots of room in economy class. And I think people are really going to like the service direct from Windsor. We've moved a lot of things along at Windsor Airport, having one airline in the past, Air Canada with service to Toronto. Now we have Air Canada, we have Porter, we have WestJet, we have Sunwing, we have National, and we also have AirTran, who's going to be offering service to Cancun. So there's some exciting things happening at the airport. We see that as an area for future investment and future development, and we think there's going to be a lot of good things happening there as we move forward in the next few years as well.
Is there a plan to make a bigger airport in Windsor?
There is no plan to expand the runway at this point. We can handle almost any aircraft that exists today, with the exception of the Dreamliner. We can't land that plane, but almost any other aircraft we can land at Windsor Airport. And certainly any future terminal expansions will be based on other airlines that we add. So it's possible in the future we will have to add on an addition to the terminal to accommodate other airlines. But right now they're working on a hoteling concept where one airline is not there. We can just change the signage, and the next airline can log into the computer and put their signage up and use that same space.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Abbas Wali, and this has been 3 Minutes with Mayor Dridergans.
Ron Funkenhauser is the program manager for Crime Stoppers. Ron, can you tell us a little bit about what's going on right now with Crime Stoppers?
Well, Jillian, there's always a ton of fundraising going on with Crime Stoppers. What a lot of people don't realize is that Crime Stoppers is a nonprofit charity. So our mandate is to take anonymous information to help catch the bad guys that are on the street. But in order for us to do that, we have to do fundraisers constantly. So the big one that we're working on now is our Wild Game Dinner out at Colasani's. We sell out every year at 600 tickets, and that's a big one for us. We generate a lot of proceeds from that.
Great. And what has some of the responses been from the public?
Oh, Crime Stoppers is well respected in the community. Again, we're anonymous, so when people call us, we don't take their name, we don't take their information at all. So they feel secure in calling us. So people feel good. They give us tons of information. The public would be shocked if they actually knew all the information that our program takes from the public. The one thing for us is it's kind of tough is the community wants to know all the good things that we do and the cases that we solve, and because we have to protect the anonymity of our tipsters, we can't comment on all the cases, so we keep stats, but the program takes amazing amount of information each and every day, and we're responsible for solving a lot of cases in our community.
So just really quickly, I know you're moving on to another opportunity, but what have been some of your best experiences in the last 20 years?
Gosh, that's tough, Jillian. The 20 years has been amazing. We've got, There's so many, I don't even know where to start, but it's been an amazing experience. I'm looking forward to the new challenge, but I'm sure the program will prosper and move on.
Thank you, Ron. I'm Jillian Toman, and you've been watching Ron Frankenhauser from Crime Stoppers.
Hi, I'm Ashley Ann Mentley. Welcome to another edition of 3 Minutes With. Today we're joined by Carolina Boras Martinez. Carolina works remotely as a digital producer and is about to embark on a year-long journey around the world. Thanks so much for being here, Carolina.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So we've been hearing more about this term digital nomad, which is what you're about to become. What exactly does that mean?
So what that means is that a digital nomad is someone who has the ability to work remotely around the world depending on where their Wi-Fi signals are coming from.
Right. And so you have a job where right now you're working from home, right?
That's right.
So you're taking it to various countries all around the world.
Yes.
That's quite exciting.
Yeah, I'm thrilled. It's going to be a massive lifestyle change for me.
Mm-hmm.
Previously, I was working in Toronto in animation production, which was really great. But this opportunity to travel around the world while being employed came up, and I thought, I got to take it. So
right. How often do you get the opportunity to travel around the world and still make all of your money at the same time?
Right? It's insane, right? Luckily, though, these kinds of opportunities are increasing. Over the past 5 years, for example, these opportunities were so few, but there really is an explosion of opportunity, mostly through remote work, programming, design jobs, internet. Like it's been amazing.
Well, we're seeing some of the big online companies that almost their whole teams are working remotely.
That's right. Yeah, like WordPress is one of them. Buffer's another one. Those ones are social media platforms. Another one is Inspire Hub. I work for that one, and that's also another engagement solutions company.
Mm-hmm. It's a great opportunity.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So, what inspired you to take your work on the road?
It really was the cubicle lifestyle of working, just really dedicatedly in one location for an extended period of time. And I've come to a point in my life where I really wanted to travel, but how do you have that opportunity to save thousands upon thousands of dollars, take 2 years off of your career path that you're dedicated to, and then rationalize that to future employers in the future? Well, I thought, if I can work while doing things that are relevant to my career and travel, then that just seems like a great way to do it.
Makes sense to me. Where are you headed to first?
So first off, we're actually heading this Friday to Dublin, Ireland. So that's going to be our first stop. Mm-hmm. We chose Dublin actually because the flight was actually really, really great price. The one-way ticket was really affordable. one of the challenges with Dublin or the UK is that the currency exchange isn't so great.
Right.
So the Canadian dollar is really weak right now, and right now the euro is pretty decent. So those are the kinds of things that I have to keep in mind where I'm choosing where to live next for the next couple weeks, maybe a month, depending on the visa duration.
Right, there are a lot of things to consider.
Yes.
Right? Well, overall, I mean, it sounds like an incredibly exciting trip.
Yeah, exciting and like nerve-wracking.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
All right. I'm Ashley Ann, and you've been watching another edition of 3 Minutes With.
We are back live next week, so until then, please enjoy some of the best work from last semester.
The 29th annual Freed's Tip-Off Tournament was held this past weekend at the St. Clair College Sportsplex. The tournament is put on by the Catholic Central Comets and head coach Pete Kuzmano.
Well, it's a great tournament. We got great games, and this is good for us because we need to learn to play at elite level.
Top local talent was showcased at the tournament, from the Brennan Cardinals to the Kennedy Clippers and the St. Anne Saints from Tecumseh. Also showcased at the tournament was a provincial powerhouse in the St. Michael's High School from Toronto. St. Michael's went on to win the tournament, defeating Oakville Pine Ridge 54-49.
I'm not worried about where we're at right now, just where we're going to be at the end of the year.
All of Windsor-Essex County's men's teams will tip off their season on December 3rd, and it just goes to show how much preparation is done during the Freed's tournament. For MediaPlex News, I'm Michael Hugel.
Past the bustle of students tucked into one of the buildings at the Odette School of Business is Room 120. It is home to Dr. Ann Snowden, the chair of the Odette World Health Innovation Network. Snowden is in charge of a group of researchers and partners from both Canada and the U.S., from Arizona State University, the BC Ministry of Health, and Dalhousie University, to Hotel Dieu Grace Healthcare here in Windsor. Their goal is to deliver a more effective and lower-cost healthcare system on both sides of the border. Snowden says the network is located at Odette rather than a health-related department because of its business focus.
We don't traditionally think of it as a business. We think of it as part of a healthcare service for Canadians, but in fact it's a very large business, and we need business principles, business expertise to help it run more efficiently, more effectively.
Most of the time, though, researchers aren't in the Odette School of Business, but rather out in the field. Snowden says that researchers are deployed to where the research and innovation projects are located. Dr. Charles Alassi is the Senior Advisor for Public Health England at the University of Windsor. He says the network is in a good location to succeed.
This is a really exciting opportunity for us to bring together a lot of the innovation work that's been taking place all over the world, and I think we're in a good place to do it here on the border between Canada and the US.
If you actually are physically located under the bridge, right at the border, you have a much greater opportunity to build on the work we've been doing in Canadian provinces and extend it and accelerate it into US with US partners.
Snowden says the network expects to see more projects in the future. For MediaPlex News, I'm Justin Prince.
The St. Clair Centre for the Arts is usually home to college students. However, on Thursday, it saw some incredibly innovative high school students.
The St. Clair Centre for the Arts hosted the second annual Entrepreneurial Summit last Thursday. There, over 400 local teens learned the ropes of, what else? Entrepreneurship in Windsor. Amid mingling and visiting informative booths, students heard from guest speakers such as the president of Liquid Wild Media, Steve Nicodemo. Nicodemo says it's important for high school students to see Windsor has innovative job opportunities.
I think it's great, with our city, starting to grow, and Detroit right across the river, that they can, students can see what kind of opportunities they have here available for them.
One student from Assumption College Catholic High School says she likes that the summit targets high school students.
I think that it is centered around high school students because once you're in college and university, you kind of know what you're doing. You kind of figure it out, right? But in high school, you're still trying to discover yourself. You're still trying to discover who you want to be and what you want to do.
But for those who aren't in high school, not to worry. The St. Clair Genesis Center is also available to help post-secondary entrepreneurs get off the ground. For MediaPlex News, I'm Alex Latrimwe.
A local refugee shelter celebrated its annual holiday through performances with past and present refugee claimants and community supporters.
We celebrated with people from all around the world, many who come from different cultures, but we were able to celebrate together.
Dana Mermagragel arrived last March, pregnant and with less than $1,000. She says the most important thing to offer a refugee is love and compassion.
Because that is the first thing that the refugee feel. We feel like we are alone, and they need friends because they don't know anyone. And Mario has helped us too much.
Mermagragel says when it comes to donations, it's the practical things that matter.
Think like if you're in a home. See all the things that you have at home. Think for a minute that you don't have anything of that. So I think that is a good step.
We need this to be a momentum to continue caring for and helping refugees all the time.
It seems freedom and safety top refugees' wish lists. I'm Jillian Toman from MediaPlex News Now.
Mr. Luke Wilson.
It was all cheers as LaSalle native Luke Wilson entered the Villanova gym to present the school with the NFL's honorary Golden Football. This year commemorates the 50th anniversary of the Super Bowl. The NFL will recognize high schools across the globe with a Golden Football for every player who graduated from the school and was on an active Super Bowl roster. The NFL Foundation, which gave $1 million for the campaign, will also provide schools with the opportunity to apply for grants to support their football programs. Wilson said it was great to be back at the place his dream began.
I don't know, it's neat. It's a bit overwhelming. You're walking the same locker room and, just kind of brings back small memories, being here with my brothers and, seeing all my coaches. It's cool. It's been a cool day. Special feeling and, couldn't have done without my time here at Villanova and, the people around me.
For MediaPlex News, I'm Jordan Kashera.
I confirm that our board will be able to build 2 new schools.
The announcement by the Greater Essex County District School Board is a result of $498 million in funding province-wide to build 30 new schools. With more than $30 million allocated to Windsor, the board will be able to provide brand new facilities for 2 of its existing schools. Scott Scantlebury with the Public Board says seeing Windsor get its share is exciting news.
30 new school projects were announced, and 2 of them are for Windsor and Essex County. I think that's tremendously significant for this area.
A new DM Eagle Public School will be built, offering a dual English and French immersion school housing 651 students, while Giles Campus French immersion, currently housed in W.D. Lowe High School, will eventually move to a new facility holding 645 students from JK to grade 8. Along with the new schools, 122 childcare places were also announced, and 8 will be at Windsor's new schools with 146 spaces for children in total. The location for the schools have not been chosen, but Juliana Hinchliff, coordinator of engineering, says the 2 new schools can be expected by the 2018-19 school year.
It's about 9 months for design, and then usually in an elementary school it's about 14 months construction.
Scantlebury says the board is hoping for a central location for both schools to accommodate as many students as possible.
Central will decrease busing, allow more students to be able to walk to school, and just be a better central site for that community.
For MediaPlex News, I'm Sean Preble. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure and watch our Winter Launch special live next Tuesday at 6 p.m. I'm Sean Preble, and you've been watching MediaPlex News Now.
MediaPlex News Now is a production of the St. Clair College Journalism Program.